Thank you very much for joining me this afternoon. This is your commissioner, the one and only Commissioner Patrick Ryan Richardson. It's time to start getting ready for our 15th, yes, our 15th PPL season. That means you may need to start studying up on some early or late rounds. Maybe you need to start drinking an extra beer or two to get ready for the weekend extravaganza that you know it's going to be. Maybe save that liver. Or maybe you need to mock draft a few more times than you can count. So some of you, and you know who I'm talking about, even understands who the hell is going to be on the board in the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, etc. rounds. Whatever it is that you have to do, it is time to start getting ready. This is a monumentous occasion. As a matter of fact, this is one of my favorite times of the season. This is the calm before the storm, you might say. This is when all the anxiety starts to pick up and the shit talking gets just a bit heavier. What excites me the most, though, is that right now we are all on the very same playing field. All the scores are 0-0s and the records are 0-0s, tied up. Anyone has a chance right now to lift the famed Chuck Rock Trophy or to don their very own championship ring. Of course, Farron, he deserves all the respect we can give him, as he is now one of the only two men in this league that can claim to be a two-time champion. And that, as all of us understand, I hope, is a very tremendous thing. It is climbing Mount Pigskin twice when most of us can't do it a single time. Now, before we get down to all the information I have for you, I would just like to wish everybody good luck in the Pigskin Party League this season. Just one second. Good luck, y'all. The very first thing we're going to talk about is the scoring changes we're going to make to the defense and special teams this year. As you all know, the default defensive scoring arc has been terrible since the inception of the PPL, and I thought, what a better time to change it up than heading into our 15th season. With the help of Timmy and with the help of Farron, we came across something called YDB defense. You deserve better defense. This changes default from starting with like the bonus 10 points at the beginning of a game and then seemingly working its way down to an abysmal 1 or 2 or even negative points to potentially scoring roughly what a tight end one would score. Now, I'm not talking about your Travis Kelce's necessarily, but I am talking about your mid-range tight ends, which I think should not only change up how we draft. Maybe in the 8th or 9th round, instead of looking for that starting tight end, you may look at a starting defense, or you might look at rostering 2 defenses on your bench instead of having 5 wide receivers. Whatever it might be, I think we can all agree that the defense needs to change a little bit. Farron and I, when we were implementing this and doing our test runs, we did not see that these were changing dramatically. But what we did see was instead of negative points, maybe they would be getting those 1 or 2 or 3 points that would help out a team instead of like destroy a team or ruin a team's chances of winning. What we saw last year was people weren't even starting a defense because of how bad they were, and I wanted to change that up. Change that up just for the spirit of the draft and change that up for the spirit of our weekly competitions, whatever it might be. All right, let's go ahead and start. Number 1, safeties are going to go from 2 to 4 points total. Number 2, our kickoff and punt returns are going to go from 6 to 8 point totals. Number 3, our blocked punt returns for touchdowns is going to go from 6 to 8 points. Number 3, this year we're going to add pass defensed, and that's going to go from 0 to 0.5 points. Number 4, we're going to also add tackles for loss, and those are going to go from 0 to 0.5 points as well. Number 5, the 2-point conversion is going to go from 2 to 4 points. Number 6, the passing touchdown is going to go from 4 to 6 points for your quarterback. The next 2 are going to be kind of difficult, but these are the scoring changes that we had to make so that at the beginning of a game, your defense doesn't start off at 10 points, the bonus 10, and then work its way down seemingly over the years. We kind of see that trend, as opposed to now the defense is going to start off at 0 points a game, starting off, and work its way north based on all the scoring that we talked about previously. So from 0 to 350 yards allowed by your defense, you're going to get 0 points. And then minus 1 point for every 50 yards allowed after that. Now, after research, your average NFL team allows roughly 350 yards in a game, which means we don't want to give points for being an average defense, which is why you get 0 points for 0 to 350 yards allowed. But we do want to penalize a team that is performing below average. So that's why we give the minus 1 points for every 50 yards allowed after 350 yards. Okay? So that's the next change. The last change we're going to make to the defense is going to be for the points allowed. From 0 to 17 points allowed, that's 0 points for your defense. After each touchdown, after 17 points, that's minus 1 point. This is the same concept here. So after research, we discovered that your average NFL team gives up roughly 17 points. So we didn't want to give bonus points for a defense that's doing what a defense needs to do. But we did want to penalize a team for giving up more points than average or being below average in this regard. So once again, 0 to 350 yards, 0 points, and then minus 1 point for every 50 yards allowed after that. And then 0 to 17 points allowed will net you 0 points with minus 1 point allotted for each touchdown after 17 points. The reason we made a lot of these scoring changes is because once we changed those yards allowed and the points for, that got rid of that starting off 10-point bonus. So we will be starting off at 0 and potentially working our way up based on positive defensive attributes. So that's why we had to not only add the 2 defensive attributes, but give bonus points for some of the other defensive attributes that we thought were kind of game-changing, like the kickoff or punt return. It doesn't happen often, and those things can change the tide of a game fast. The block punt for TD, another thing. It does not happen often, but when it does, that changes the game. So those are where we decided to kind of increase the scoring to be able to show that we were adding points, starting at 0 and adding points as we went, as opposed to starting at 10 and working our way down into those negatives, which I believe no one likes. And those are the scoring changes for this season. I hope you enjoy those. I do implore you to take a look inside your app, just so you understand a little bit more of what I'm saying. I don't want there to be any surprises. Of course, this is subject to change if I made a mistake or anything along those lines, but we did test this out, and I do think that this is going to be a positive change in our scoring that I think we've wanted for quite some time. The next thing I would like to talk about pertains to our continued efforts to fundraise for the league. This year, Farron did put together another raffle for us. The prizes are a mini fridge stocked full, and whiskey glasses with a whiskey decanter and its own bottle of whiskey. I think that it's pretty fucking cool that Farron does this. I think it's also pretty fucking cool that we're able to raise money for future drafts, maybe travel drafts, things along those lines, through these sorts of things like the raffle. So bring some extra cash. It's the same pricing as last year. We'll have everything on the table when you arrive so you understand what's going on. Furthermore, the next, and I think one of my favorite things right now, and what I hope really catches on to this league and our Friday night, is going to be the fucking Moneyball. I know we discussed it last year and everybody voted it down in terms of being able to change draft picks or anything along those lines. And I did listen to you. I listened to my congregation. I am a wolf and I sheep and I listen. But this year we're going to do it different. And we are going to go forward with it. The Moneyball is going to be its own 50-50 raffle. So the way the Moneyball is going to work for our 50-50 raffle, it's going to be $10 per participant per spin. Up to $30 for 3 spins, okay? Once we have compiled all the names, all the participants that want in, we're going to put all those names into a name randomizer. Click go, and that name randomizer will give the rotation as to who gets first spin on the wheel and who gets last spin on the wheel. If you spend $30 for 3 picks and the name generator or name randomizer puts you in at 5th pick or 5th spin, then you get 3 spins at your 5th place. Okay? After the first round, that's wiped out. We go to 1 spin per person, up to 3 rounds. Okay? After in the first round, there's going to be 20 balls. So 19 balls and the money ball. In the second round, we remove 5 balls, making it 15 balls total, a 1 in 15 chance of picking out the money ball. And in the third round, we remove another 5 balls, making it a 1 in 10 chance of picking out the money ball. Okay? If someone does pick the money ball or spin the wheel and pull the money ball, they will then win 50% of the money raised that night, and 50% of the money raised will go towards the league fund. If no one picks the money ball in 3 rounds, 50% of the money raised will go towards next year's money ball, and 50% of the money raised will go into the league fund. As far as everything else, I think that pretty well covers it. We did get to the defensive scoring changes, the scoring changes for every other aspect of the league. And that's definitely something I wanted to cover with you. You guys give me shit all the time for making changes or doing things behind your backs, and I did not want that to happen again. Although I kind of did make these changes behind your back. But, you know, that's the commissioner's duty. You wouldn't get it. We also went over the raffle, and we went over my brand new favorite edition, the Moneyball, which I think, it's going to be a success. So to close, let's get ready, dudes. We have a few short weeks left before this extravaganza. I know everybody's getting their driving routines ready, their plane flights in, things along those lines. We've got a new guy showing up in Shane. This should be one for the ages. Our 15th fucking year of the PPL, Pigskin Party League. Let's fucking rock. Salute to y'all.